A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. To believe in something and not to live it is dishonest. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment, and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. The human voice can never reach the distance that is covered by the still small voice of conscience. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. Glory lies in the attempt to reach one's goal and not in reaching it. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Experience has taught me that silence is part of the spiritual discipline of a votary of truth. If patience is worth anything, it must endure to the end of time, and a living faith will last in the midst of the blackest storm. Morality is the basis of things, and truth is the substance of all morality. Honest disagreement is often a good sign of progress. All compromise is based on give and take, but there can be no give and take on fundamentals. Any compromise on mere fundamentals is a surrender, for it is all give and no take. The future depends on what you do today. We may stumble and fall, but shall rise again. It should be enough if we did not run away from the battle. Permanent good can never be the outcome of violence and untruth. Non-violence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Man's nature is not essentially evil. Brute nature has been known to yield to the influence of love. You must never despair of human nature. A small body of determined spirits fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission can alter the course of history. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. To give pleasure to a single heart by a single act is better than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. Nobody can hurt me without my permission. Truth never damages a cause that is just. You can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind. The seeker after truth should be humbler than the dust. An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind. In prayer, it is better to have a heart without words than words without a heart. We may never be strong enough to be entirely nonviolent in thought, word, and deed, but we must keep nonviolence as our goal and make strong progress towards it. When I admire the wonders of a sunset or the beauty of the moon, my soul expands in the worship of the Creator. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. An ounce of patience is worth more than a ton of preaching. Hate the sin, love the sinner. It is unwise to be too sure of one's own wisdom. It is healthy to be reminded that the strongest might weaken and the wisest might err. Anger is the enemy of nonviolence, and pride is a monster that swallows it up. Truth is by nature self-evident. As soon as you remove the cobwebs of ignorance, it shines clear. Where there is love, there is life. Man becomes great exactly in the degree in which he works for the welfare of his fellow men. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. An ounce of practice is worth 1,000 words. Prayer is not asking, it is a longing of the soul. It is daily admission of one's weakness. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. Each one has to find his peace from within, and peace to be real must be unaffected by outside circumstances. Service which is rendered without joy helps neither the servant nor the served. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is the truth. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not in the attainment. Full effort is full victory. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love. It is the prerogative of the brave. A no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. A man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards him. We need not wait to see what others think. If you want real peace in the world, start with children. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. Confession of errors is like a broom which sweeps away the dirt and leaves the surface brighter and clearer. I feel stronger for confession. A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. You may never know what results come from your actions, but if you do nothing, there will be no results. The day the power of love overrules the love of power, the world will know peace. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Action expresses priorities. Truth stands, even if there is no public support. It is self-sustained. My life is my message. The good man is the friend of all living things. We need not wait to see what others do. Change yourself. You are in control. The real ornament of woman is her character, her purity. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. You don't know who is important to you until you actually lose them. Morality which depends upon the helplessness of a man or woman has not much to recommend it. Morality is rooted in the purity of our hearts. I suppose leadership at one time meant muscles, but today it means getting along with people. Peace is its own reward. I cannot conceive of a greater loss than the loss of one's self-respect. See the good in people and help them. The main purpose of life is to live rightly, think rightly, act rightly. The soul must languish when we give all our thought to the body. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary. The evil it does is permanent. Love is the strongest force the world possesses. Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it. We need not wait to see what others do. To call woman the weaker sex is a libel. It is man's injustice to woman. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time, they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it, always. The greatness of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane.